Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? Why do I always do that? Stretch out. Should probably do that before the show starts. Anyway, I did not expect us to be this busy straight after the season. I'm not sure if I can speak for you, but I expected there to be a bit of a lull. You know, that was a bit depressing. Let's be honest, that season was pretty damn depressing as a United fan. All right. I did not expect us to move this quickly, but we're going to be speaking a little bit more details. Well, we've already got the Here We Go on Cunha. That was yesterday. We've got more details on the sort of the payment terms. Just a bit of interesting info. We're also going to speak a lot about the stuff that's been reported yesterday on Liam Delap. We're going to speak through the reports from ESPN, from the Daily Mail as well. Going to have a conversation about Bryan Mbeumo this morning too, because United clearly are targeting 2 number 10s. I think that's becoming abundantly clear. Going to run through those reports. Going to speak about Ruben Amorim's press conference. It's just a dumb thing that as if we're playing tomorrow. As if we're playing tomorrow. And I'll be watching it. I'll bring a match reaction. But as if we're playing tomorrow. I'm going to run through Amorim's press conference, speak about Anthony, speak about Goalkeeper, speak about sales. Hey, welcome aboard. I can see there's plenty of new faces down there, so thank you all for getting involved. And I hope you stick around for the summer, because I will be covering everything on United People's TV. Who's here from the mods and the member gang? Quick hello to everyone. Let's have a look. Good morning to you, Alex. Good morning to you, Stephanie, as well. Ant, you're there too. And Josh, you'll be there, no doubt. Carl, I've no doubt you're here as well. Sausage, great name. Priam, we've got Mr. Meme. We've got Vince. Let's say loads of some new faces down here. We've got Theo Duncan. We've got Kevin. We've got Shegsy. Sean Collins. We've got Rami. We've got Paul James. Raul. Lots of you. And Ben saying, thank you for the content. Just what we need. Good morning to all of you. Isn't it weird how I was just speaking with the lads? As I said, it was a pretty damn depressing season, and we all expected a bit of a lull. But as soon as the season has ended, it feels like I'm watching my club actually execute a strategy, and I'm not used to that. I'm just not used to that as a United fan. It's what I've wanted. It's what you've hoped for. I'm just not used to that. And it feels like I'm watching United execute something they've been working on for a while and go, boom, let's go. And that's quite exciting in itself. Now, let's get into the news. And before I start, I just want to say something about this, because it's so unbelievably grim what happened yesterday in Liverpool. Mate, you know how much of a scumbag you've got to be? I can't even comprehend it. As far as I've seen so far, thankfully, nobody has died, but I saw there was like 50 people injured. Kids were injured. It's so grim, man. It really is grim. Like, just imagine that. Like, whenever down the line, United are back on the top and United win the title, and there's like 100, 200,000 fans out in Manchester, and that happens. It's grim, man. It really is grim. Fingers crossed everyone recovers. Who cares whether he was drunk? It's got nothing to do with it. It's just, mate, it's absolutely grim. So fingers crossed everyone recovers from that. If you haven't seen what's happened, go and check it out on Sky News, or wherever you read your news. Some guy just literally pile drive through bloody pedestrians. It was grim. It was absolutely grim. Right. Let's get into the news. And let's start talking about all the transfer news that is happening. Jonas, I've just kind of explained what happened, but if you want more information, you can go and look through it yourself. Cunha. We spoke about Cunha yesterday. We got the Here We Go at 11 bloody PM. Unbelievable, Jeff. I would have been here live and direct, but I couldn't be because I was sleeping like a child. Anyway, Cunha. We got the Here We Go on, what was it? Sunday night? Monday night? Sunday night. He's going to be the first signing. I imagine it's going to happen pretty quickly now. United are just agreeing on the payment terms, and we now know what those payment terms are. This is from the BBC. Saying the BBC understands that United will be required to pay the full fee, so that's $62.5 million, which is the release clause, in 3 installments over a 2-year period. I think there's a little bit more info down here. There you go. The first $20.8 million will be paid upon purchase. So this summer, we paid $20.8 million for Cunha. The second installment at the end of next season, and the final amount due in the summer of 2027. That's how we're going to be paying for Cunha. 3 payments, 20 mil each. Done deal. So that's how much Cunha... You know, I find it annoying, but it's just kind of what it is. How much we all, as football fans now, we've kind of got to semi-be accountants. We've got to be politicians as well when it looks at the takeover and who's taking over. But we've got to try and understand a lot more about the finances behind football and how much a player is going to cost and how much that's going to go on the books this summer and then how much that actually leaves because of FFP and amortization. And it's just like, I don't really care. I just want to know how much my football club can spend and how much who they can sign. But 20 million is what we're spending. So in terms of the budget this summer for Cunha, might be 62 million on paper, but it's 20 million on our budget this summer. So if United have got a budget of 100 million as far as FFP goes, then we've got 80 million left after Cunha, right? As far as accounting goes. Kind of exhausting, really. Can I say to everyone, big up for all your comments on that video. These videos here and the United People's Productions, we toned down the United People's Productions a little bit in the last couple of months of the season because I just wasn't the right place for it, man. United fans were just like, nobody was in a good mood. And we tried some, like that Roma video that we did. I love doing that one. But these videos are my favourite videos. These videos are the ones that I hope present United People's TV in the best light. Now, some of the comments on there were like, oh, Sam, well, we saw one of these for Højlund and saw one of these for Anthony. I stand by the Højlund video. I stand by the Delap video, the Xerxes video. I stand by the Onana video. It's just that those players didn't translate what they were doing in previous clubs. Certainly Onana. But we're going to have... Look, if we go and sign Delap, we'll have one on Delap and any other player that we sign. Danny there with a fair comment saying, why was the video not posted on Facebook? Copyright. Because Facebook are so much... It's not a platform designed for creators. That's why I stopped doing the live shows on Facebook. You just have issues, and there is no support network in Facebook. You can't contact someone. There is no creator network on Facebook. Not in the same way that there is on YouTube. So big up to everybody for the comments on that, and we will continue producing these this summer. All of your support enables me to bring in the sort of editors that help us create this sort of stuff, and I think make us stand out in a good way. In a good way. Now, this is definitely the conversation I can see flying through the chat right now, and it's Liam Delap. I think it's become abundantly obvious that Delap is our number one striker target this summer. If United had more money, if United were in the Champions League, it might not be. Well, you don't know. It might still. It may well still be. But I'm going to run through what the reports are yesterday. And I suppose let me just do a poll down here, right? Let's do a poll. Do you think Delap will be a good signing? Let's see what the community's saying. Be a good signing. One of these days, mods will be able to start polls, and it will just be a lot more engaging. But until that time, let's find out. Chitty, you sent it in an super chat saying that's not how it works, Sam. The fee is amortized over the contract. That's just the amount that's actually paid. PSR is not your actual cash on hand. Wow, it's almost like I'm not an accountant. I'm trying to figure out as I'm talking. Maybe it is just a case of... No, but if you're paying 20 million out of your cash flow this summer, surely that's what... I know the amortization would go across the... who cares? It is exactly why it's basically impossible. Impossible to do a video saying, this is how much United can spend this summer. I don't even think United know. Honestly, I don't think United know. I think they have an idea of what their budget is, but I don't think they do. Right? And you're annoyed at how simple the poll is? Well, no, that's the poll. That's what the poll's going to be. Going to leave it there. I'll tell you what, look at that. 600 votes in straight away. Yeah, man, everyone's tuning in today. 70% of you are saying he'd be a good signing straight away. Shax, thanks for gifting 5 memberships. Lancer Evo, nice username, by the way. Everyone loves a Lancer Evo. Fast and Furious back in the day. Anyway, He's not Højlund 2.0. Like, that's a really lazy thing to say. And it might just be something that people say for trolling, etc., etc. But it's just not true. Now, let's run through the main story for today. It's come from Rob Dawson from ESPN saying this, that United have agreed the framework of a deal for Delap. United have informed Ipswich that they're going to pay the £30 million release clause. And let's be honest, right? The release clause is probably a big reason as to why Delap is being heavily considered by United. If Delap was in the 50, 60 million range, which is probably an outrageous suggestion considering he's scored, 12 goals last season for Ipswich and he's just got relegated. But, yeah, all right, Tyler Dibbling and Southampton. There you go. Do you want to talk about outrageous? They're trying to slap 100 mil plus price tag on a 19-year-old who's just got relegated. But the fact that he is 30 million means it's probably a risk that United feel they can take. And this is the new bit here. The outline of personal terms have also been agreed with Delap's representatives, and the transfer could move quickly once he makes a decision on his future. So that's the main update there. ESPN is saying that not only have United told Ipswich, yeah, we'll pay 30 mil, all right, but United have also agreed with Delap's agent on the contract, on the personal terms, which means as soon as we find out, it's game, set, match. Now, let me know in the comments, just like, what questions are you asking or what concerns have you got around Delap? I'll try and get involved with as many of you as I possibly can. Luke, thank you very much, dude, as well, for gifting 10 membership. Absolute legend indeed, Volpes. All of you. You're all legends. Man, I need this community leader in, man. I need someone to be able to help me run this now. This community, I think, is bigger than me. Jonathan is saying they know it's imperative to get players in before the pre-season tour. I mean, it's imperative every bloody season, but it hardly ever happens. Alex is saying the big question should be whether Delap really wants to come to United. And I think that's actually a good point and a good question, really, because if Delap chooses United, that means he's turned down a chance to join Chelsea and play Champions League football. It means that he's turned down the chance to join Newcastle and play Champions League football. And I think Everton are the last club interested, but yeah, good luck, Everton. You know what I mean? Like, it's all nice. Oh, go on, Everton. Hello, boys. Go on, Everton. Sorry, lads. And that's kind of, I always say it's not the most important thing, but having a player that wants to join United, I think, is an important factor. I really do. And what you're saying down there. Let's read some of the chats. Understand cost is not an issue, but use Garnacho towards Osimhen. Wages would not be an issue. We've just cleared over 400k off the books. Look, man. We're not signing Osimhen. Wages would be an issue. Wages should be an issue. I don't know how you can even suggest that wages wouldn't be an issue for a man who would just come in and absolutely dwarf any sort of wage demands of any player that we've got. Osimhen's going to be going to Saudi Arabia because nobody is going to pay what Osimhen wants, including Manchester United, who largely don't have much money this summer. Thank you for gifting 5. Man, everyone's joining the gifts down here, man. Gary's doing 5, Conrad's doing 10, and Mania's doing 10. All of you, get involved in the Discord, people. I've pinned the link. It's free. Get involved there. You can use your YouTube membership. You can join the members only channel. I promise you'll have a good time there. The answer to the poll, and Manny is saying the answer to the poll depends on who the number 10s are. Well, we're going to be speaking about Bryan Mbeumo next. Yeah, we'll definitely have a chat about Bryan Mbeumo. Dad of Caesar with the best comment so far. Godzilla or King Kong? Probably going King Kong, man. I'm going King Kong. It's a tough question, though. I'll be honest. I'm glad that someone in the chat is asking the real question that everyone cares about. Right, let's read some other comments out. Delap is unproven. 1 season in the Prem. Don't need another development striker. We need a proven striker. I won't disagree with that. If I could choose, I would choose Gyökeres. Gyökeres would be my choice. If if money wasn't an issue, if the fact that we weren't in the Champions League was an issue, it feels like that's more of an issue with Gyökeres than it is with anyone else. Maybe it's the same. I think with Osimhen, if you pay him whatever, he'd just join you. It's kind of what it strikes me as. Money's the most important thing for Osimhen. Elite level football and competitiveness is the most important thing for Gyökeres. And Delap's not in a position where, I suppose he is really, considering loads of clubs want him. He's in a position to choose whether the Champions League is important for him at this point in his career. But I don't think that's going to be the driver for him. I might be wrong on that. But it doesn't strike me that Delap will demand Champions League football from the club that he joins. Esco saying Greenwood has cost his club nearly 200 million. It's sickening how good he is. The only thing more sickening than that is how much of a scumbag he is. How many players do I think will sign this window? Five? I think five. I think five, my bet. F1 fanatic, you're in the wrong channel, but you're gifted 5 memberships. I watched a bit of the F1 of the weekend. It's a shame how boring the Monaco Grand Prix is, really. Let's be totally honest. You've got Daily Mail here sort of following on from the article from ESPN saying that the 4 clubs that are interested in him are Chelsea, United, Newcastle and Everton. So that we're going to find out this week, right? Let me go down to the poll and see what you're saying. Thank you everyone for getting involved. 1,600 votes are in. And 72% are saying yes, he would be a good signing. My honest opinion, I think he would be a good signing. We've already had the conversations about how many goals we think he'd score, so we don't need to ask this again. Do I think United's goal-scoring problems will be resolved with Liam Delap? No, I don't. Right? No, I don't. However, and this is a big thing, right? Where's that photo? That is the right one. I'll speak about Mbeumo now. And you can also speak about this lad. So what you're looking at here is United, effectively, Delap is a market opportunity. 30 million. He has played in the Premier League. He has proven that he's scored goals in the Premier League. And in a team that very much struggled, that didn't really have too much in terms of chance creation. And he was able to create chances himself. And he did it well. Is he a complete striker? No, absolutely not. But I don't think United are looking at that this summer. And that's why the conversation comes around Delap, Cunha, and now Mbeumo. And Dan, you're saying if he doesn't solve the striker problems, then why sign him? Because what United are doing here, clearly, is United are kind of spread betting. There's probably a better way I can use to describe it. United, and I've already said it before, and I'll probably keep repeating it because I think it's becoming clear as a strategy. United aren't looking to go and sign somebody who's going to bang in 30, 40 goals because you paid like that hella premium for that. That's your Sesko, your Gyökeres, that's your Osimhen level signing. Minimum 50 mil, probably higher. Like if Arsenal sign Sesko this summer, they're going to pay what? 75 mil, 80 mil? What United are going to do is ideally sign someone like Delap who brings in 15 goals. Bring in someone like Cunha who brings in, 15 goals. Someone like Mbeumo who scored 20 goals in the Premier League last season for Brentford. So ideally, you bring in 15 goals. That's 1, 2, 3 Premier League proven players, all who scored goals, plenty of goals last season in the Premier League. That's clearly what United's strategy is. It's not to find one person who just you build your whole team towards and he scores all the goals. You bring in multiple goal scorers. That's what United are clearly doing. And let's speak about Mbeumo next. Let me make sure I haven't missed any super chats. And then we'll head through to the next bit of news. Anthony saying, be okay with Delap if he was going to be number 2. That's what I said. Like, if United won the Europa League and got into the Champions League, I think there was a possibility of us selling or loaning Haaland out for the rest of the season, or not the rest, the whole of next season, bringing Delap in, and also bringing Gyökeres in. But I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think we can afford it now. Hence why Delap is emerging really as our number 1 target. Kai is saying, will Bruno feel threatened and start sabotaging the team when he no longer feels the main guy like in the Ronaldo era? Mate, if you're asking that question, then you really, really do not understand who Bruno Fernandes is as a footballer. The idea that Bruno would start sabotaging a team. Ronaldo just couldn't deal with the fact that his legs weren't as quick as his mind was. He was getting old, and he didn't like it. And he didn't act well at all. And Bruno would never do that. Bruno would never do that. Duke, you're saying Delap is not a much better than what's there. Also, Cherky should be the focus. Angel Gomez for free. Hillman, hell no. I mean, I disagree with quite a lot of that comment. Angel Gomez for free. I thought about that previously, but my main focus here is on United being, a more athletic and strong team. I can't look at the diminutive style of Angel Gomez and think our midfield will work with that, especially if we're signing 2 number 10s and Bruno's dropping deeper and there's only one spot next to him. You want that spot to be Angel Gomez? No, you don't. And Cherky strikes me as a sort of player who is incredible with the ball, but he's a sort of player that your teammates kind of need to cover for his weaknesses. Oh yeah, he's so good at football going forward. Just we'll cover all the stuff you don't do. We can't afford a player like that in this team. I would much rather sign Mbeumo than I would Cherky. Now, let's run through what the story is. This is coming mainly from Chris Wheeler in the Daily Mail. I'll do a full story on this at lunchtime today to cover it all, because there is quite a lot to cover. Clearly, United are interested in him. He's suggesting that United have held talks with his representatives and that United are interested in signing him. And this is what Fabrizio has said, right?
Mbeumo is one of the players they have in the list at number 10, so behind the striker position. He's not the only one, because on Mbeumo there are more clubs interested, but for sure the interest is genuine.
The interest is real. Now, should we do another poll? A little double poller. What day? I'll ask you the same question. Now, do you think United should go after Mbeumo? And I will spell his name right now. It's E-U-M-O, not U-E-M-O. Thank you very much. Right. Yes or no? I'll be honest. I think I spoke about him last week. It was the last week or the week before. And I was just like I'm not really moved that much by the idea of Mbeumo. And I wonder if that's far more the fact that I haven't watched him enough rather than him not being a good signing for United. Because you can't really argue against someone who scored 20 goals in the Premier League last season. You can't really argue against someone who has developed massively at Brentford. Has been doing it for a couple of years, really. I think with Mbeumo, right, and this is definitely the truth. Right, with Cunha, you've got someone that United were signing regardless. Didn't matter what happened. Didn't matter who was sold. United planned on signing Cunha. That's why we executed that one quickly. With Mbeumo and any second number 10, United are focusing on replacing players that are leaving. And it could well be, and I'll be honest, right? You can let me know this in the comments. The cost I'm seeing around Mbeumo is about 50 million. I think Garnacho should be going for around 50 million. Do you think that's outrageous? Because I don't. Garnacho, the amount of senior appearances he's had, the amount of goals he's had, the amount of times he's played for United, and the age that he is. Garnacho will be a very good footballer for a good amount of years, not in a United shirt. I would definitely say that Garnacho is worth 50 million in this market. Someone down there saying that Garnacho is worth 70, but let's be totally honest. Kvaratskhelia went from Napoli to PSG for 62, 63 mil. So I really think you're looking at, financially anyway, again, it's annoying, isn't it? Whenever you go into a transfer window, it makes all logical sense. Because the logic is there. The logic is, okay, right, so Garnacho leaves for 50 million and and Mbeumo comes in 50 million. Brilliant. Great. So easy. But it's never that easy, is it? C-Bomb, you're saying 60 to 70, at least 50 for Garnacho, says Sean. Garner, 60 plus, 60 to 70. It may well be that United, well, typically what United have done is we've sold at a lower price and we've included a sell-on clause. I think United with Garnacho, we should be demanding a big fee up front. And I think that's minimum 50. 50, maybe 50 with add-ons. I don't quite know. But whether it's Garnacho, and this is the big thing, right? Whether it's Garnacho or all three of these, right there, I'll be interested to know this, right? Get involved in the chat. How much do you honestly think United are going to get for these three combined this summer? Rashford, Antony, and Sancho. All three of them are going to leave. And that's the right thing. But how much do we get for them combined? Because remember, our budget's 100 million. And then we're going to get more depending on how well we sell. I'm going to have a video on the clear out. Well, I'll tell you what's coming in. At 7 p.m. tonight, I'm going to be doing my keep sell for the whole summer. And then tomorrow, I'm going to have a video on how United actually properly need to approach this summer. Because we've heard about clear-outs before. We've heard about being ruthless before, but it's never actually happened. Sean, you're saying 100 mil. So's Lee, Spencer, Nathan, Mikey. Susan, you're saying 120 mil max. 70 mil, says Rodney. If we get 70 mil, we have shafted ourselves. 90 to 100, around 100. 100 should be enough. 100 is what I'm hoping for. I think that's top end. 100 is top end. That's what I'm hoping for. Someone's saying, can we not keep Sancho? There can't actually be any reasonable United fans that genuinely go, oh yeah, one more chance. Get out. Get out, man. I have a lot of anger towards Sancho. I'll be honest, I have a lot of anger towards Sancho. I know I'm right. He's going to be old and grey, rocking on that chair on his porch, sipping his drink, going, regretting how he dealt with being a Manchester United player. And I know he will. Absolutely know he will. Angel Gomez is a rotation for 10 and 6 for that deep vision. Bruno's there and replacing Ericsson for free. No, I disagree. No matter how many super chats you send in, I disagree. United should not be signing Angel Gomez on a free. That's not right. That is a strategy that I disagree with. Anyway, so if you're looking at 100 mil, ideal world here. I don't know whether it's going to work. Right, 100. Let's be totally honest. 100 mil is your absolute top end. That's like 40 mil for Rashford, 40 mil for Antony, and 25 mil for Sancho. Those three combined, adding Garnacho, and then add in the wealth of other players you're going to be leaving. This is how United are going to be funding someone like Mbeumo. So I think his arrival very much depends on sales. And as I said, I'll run through that in a bit more at the lunchtime video. But checking the poll, 1,500 votes are in. Man, if you are new to town, can I please ask you to subscribe to United People's TV? There's lots of new faces in the chat, lots of new faces in the comments, and it'll be good to get you all involved. And I'll be here the whole summer covering everything, as I always do, and have been for years and years now. And 88% of you think that we should go after Mbeumo. That's a pretty convincing poll. If one had to stay, says Zach, which one? I'm not answering that question, dude. Because none of them are staying. None of them have to stay. None of them will stay. So I'm not making a choice on that. I know you want me to, but I don't want Rashford at the club. I don't want Antony at the club. And I don't want Sancho at the club. End of story. And neither does United. Imtiaz talking about selling Garnacho, leaving Delap and Mbeumo. And too many numbers, dude. Too complicated a comment. No idea what you just said. I saw this one as well yesterday. I don't think this goes anywhere. Right? I don't get this. Matt, thank you for gifting some memberships down there, dude. I can see them all. And Tony as well. You legends. I don't think this goes anywhere. I'll be totally honest. Right? Eze. If I remember correctly, though, and I should probably check this. Let me quickly check this. I think Eze has a release clause that's quite close to Cunha. Where did I see that before? I'm not sure I saw it anywhere massively reliable, though. I think he's got a release clause in the 60s somewhere, right? In the 60s somewhere. I mean, Eze. I personally think that Eze would cost too much. I agree with everyone down there. I don't think we're going to be getting him. I'm not going to be sort of like putting this down as like having a massive conversation in the future about Eze. I don't think that he's... Would he leave Crystal Palace? No, maybe. I don't really know. He stayed last summer when... Who was it that wanted him? Was it Chelsea? I can't remember. And then he ended up signing a new contract. I think he stays. But you can tell here right now. So Eze's in this conversation. And Mbeumo's in this conversation. We've just signed Cunha. United clearly are, right now as it stands, focusing on number 10s. There's a lot to do this summer. A lot to do. And I'm going to speak about another position next. But United right now as it stands are focusing on number 10s and the striker. They're focusing, and let's be honest, what was our biggest problem last season? It was goal scoring. You know it, I know it. Every United fan knows it. Goal scoring. And that's what we're focusing on. And next, you talk about goal stopping. And we'll speak about Onana now. Anna's saying we need to look for a goalkeeper. Got you covered here, mate. Come on. Goalkeeper conversations coming next. We need a number 6. But there's a lot that we need. As well as goal scorers and number 10s. Onana. I think he's going. If you'd asked me, I did a video a couple of months ago when I said that I think Onana's going to be kept. I know that United have got problems. I know that United, let's be honest, our goalkeeper hasn't. When was the last time we had proper faith in a goalkeeper? When was the last time we had proper faith in a goalkeeper? Because De Gea for the last, what was it? Would you say for like the last 2 seasons under De Gea? It's starting to get a bit like, he just started to make some mistakes. I think it must be about 4, maybe 5 seasons that we last had a goalkeeper that we just didn't have to really think about. I think it was De Gea, but I can't remember what year it was. I don't think it was that long ago. I think it was like there was a couple of years towards the end with De Gea where it just started getting a bit whiffy. Maybe 2020. I think it was some point under Solskjaer. Don't quite know. Sergio Romero, he was class. Anyway, let's speak about goalkeepers. Now, anybody who's watched the video that we did, we looked at options and John Garcia came out top of our list in terms of goalkeepers that we could and should be looking at. As it stands, he's got that 25 million, I believe. Is it 25 million euro or pounds? Who cares? He's got a 25 million release clause. Barcelona have been sniffing around him, but the suggestion is that Barcelona want to sign him and then loan him back out. Whereas the suggestion coming out of Spain today is that he's ruling out the possibility of joining anyone on loan. He wants to be first choice wherever he is, which I suppose gives United a bit of an advantage. And another goalkeeper that was on our list was Senny Lemons from Royal Antwerp. I'll be honest, Leicester's goalkeeper, Mads Hermansen, was not on our list. Now, whether this is all just noise, we don't know at this point. I wouldn't say there have been any massive concrete links with any goalkeeper as it stands. But I think United will be looking out for a new goalkeeper this summer. I think Onana, you're probably looking at Saudi. Well, I think so anyway. I don't know. Did Bayer Leverkusen need a new goalkeeper? Huh? Eric? Buy one, get one free? Anthony and Onana? Buy one, get one half price? Buy now, pay later? You can have Onana on Klarna. No, I don't know. All jokes aside, I think United are going to sign a new goalkeeper this summer. And Jean Garcia has been linked, Stanley Lemons has been linked, and there will be others. And as soon as we find out, we'll bring it to you. But it's interesting. I've been bitten by my goalkeeper choice before, but look at Savic. Savic, who do you mean? Milinkovic, Savic? What, Vanya? Isn't that weird? I remember when we signed him and he just never played for us. I think it was the never got a work permit. Diogo Costa, well, there's no chance we can afford Diogo Costa. It's just going to be too much. Simply too much. Imagine, you're probably right, and I think he's probably going to be going City there because Edison's leaving and going Saudi, isn't he? And then it's probably going to be Diogo Costa going there. We can't just ship off players to Saudi and hope for a payday. The player has to want to go as well. Yeah, that's what I mean. I think after everything that's happened at United, Onana's had his time at Ajax, he's had his time at Inter, he's had his time at United, he's had his time all in the big spotlight. I think that he might just go, you know what? I'll be fine with a couple of years just out there earning big bucks. I think at this point in his career, I think he might be interested. How about Dean Henderson? Man, some of the chat should be banned. Dean Henderson, ever since he did that interview, remember that interview? Where he was like, well, no, I left before Erik ten Hag could have a conversation with me because, I didn't want to let him try and persuade me in staying. It's like, Dean Henderson was so pissed. Was it? He got COVID, didn't it? Is that what it was? Dean Henderson was our number one because Solskjaer dropped De Gea because he was underperforming. And he was coming into the preseason. He was going to be our number one. And then he got COVID. And then De Gea came back in. And then De Gea was good. And then Dean Henderson was frozen out. And he was angry. Man, he was just a bit of a dick. Like, I wouldn't want him anywhere near our club. Like, fair play. He's done well at Crystal Palace. And he was fantastic in the FA Cup final. Nope. Don't want you anywhere near my club. That ship has sailed. I think that's what happened. Yeah, but they take. Hey, look, there's loads of goalkeepers you can throw at me. We didn't shaft Dean Henderson. He got COVID. And then he wasn't in the team. That's just football. Sometimes you get COVID. Sometimes you get injured. Other people come in. It is what it is. Anyway, I think Onana gets sold this summer. Amongst many, many players. And this is from, Dax. Lunin is somebody we're going to be mentioning. I'll tell you what's coming out on the channel this week because we've been planning the content a lot. Lunchtime today, we're going to have the Mbeumo full story. Me looking through all the reports and piecing it together chronologically for you. That's what I always do with any player that we actually become heavily linked with. I've been doing that for years on the channel now. We don't always sign them, but it's just me covering the full story. Then at 7 p.m. tonight, I'm going to do the keep sell, right? Then tomorrow, I'm going to be doing my video on how this summer really does need to be that clear out that we've been planning and threatening to do for so long. Get rid of the deadwood, and we never have, but this summer has to be the summer. And then we're going to be starting a series. There's going to be 5 videos that are coming out, and it's going to be like a tier list. And we're going to look at each position that we're probably going to be signing players in. So goalkeeper, striker, number 10, central midfielder. Maybe we'll talk about right wing back. We're going to look at all the players linked, and we're going to rank them in terms of which ones would actually fit the system better than the others. So there are going to be 5 videos that go out, and they're going to come out probably starting on Thursday once every day. There's lots. As I said, you should subscribe to United People's TV. There's a big team now working behind the scenes, hopefully doing what I like to think is the best United content on YouTube. There's lots of thought that goes into it, lots of research. So enjoy it. Make sure you subscribe. And this, of course, is definitely correct. United are going to have a big old summer exit. And we spoke about it yesterday, and I'm sure we'll speak about it more and more. I definitely do think I'm leaning towards the outgoings being more important for United this summer than the incomings. That's how important I think it is. Someone's saying we need to look at the Brighton goalkeeper. What's his name? Verbruggen? We were linked with Verbruggen before we signed Onana, if I remember correctly. But United will have a squad cull. And let's go over here. Ladies and gents, United are playing tomorrow. Yeah, great. Who wants to watch that? Don't all raise your hand at once. Seriously. I'll watch it. I'll bring you the match reaction. In an ideal world, I will get to see quite a lot of youth players get the opportunity to play together and just to watch them. That's all. It's effectively the preseason. It's 2 very early preseason games. That's what it is. Make sure I'm not missing any news over here. No. Right. Anyway, let's run through what Ruben Amorim has had to say. He's just speaking about Bruno and the future of Bruno. I believe it's on MUTV. I'm not sure where else. Stephen saying it's a ridiculous money-making tour. It's exactly what it is. Our club's skint, people. Our club is skint. Imagine that. Like, we did all the cuts. All these people were losing their jobs. Some great employees of the football club. And then we just couldn't be asked to go on a post-season tour that we can earn. And we're going to earn, by the way, £7.8 million from this tour. This tour alone, I think, will save more money than all of the cuts and redundancies that have been made, salary-wise. That's how much money they'll make on this tour. It's going to be more valuable to the club's bottom line than all the redundancies that were made. And that's something that's always been really sad, but true. Ineos up until the point of now, the summer, where all these big changes can happen. You do a post-season tour, you get loads of money in, you get rid of loads of players, and these players who are on massive salaries, and how much of a change that can make to the bottom line. Prior to that, they had to do all the stuff that they could do during the season, and the cuts and the redundancies and everything, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, Bruno, United don't want to sell him. Ruben doesn't want to sell him. In terms of next season, look, now that the season has gone, we're allowed to say this. We're allowed to say, you know what? Maybe no European football next season might be a good thing for us. We might be able to take advantage, and it could be a good thing. It depends if we take advantage, though. And a big part of that is the fact that we need to have a smaller squad as a consequence. This is Ruben Amorim in his press conference saying, look, without Champions League, we also don't need a big squad, then we can control it in a better way. But he's also reiterating down there saying, look, I'll be honest, it's not going to change much, the squad. We've got financial fair play rules. We're not allowed to do much this summer, even with the Champions League. I think United will make 5 signings. That's my prediction for this summer. I suppose I've got to do a video on my prediction for the summer, actually. I'll do my dream window. I'll do that next week. I don't think there's space for that this week. Don't know why anybody's talking. Alvaro Fernandez to Real Madrid. Look, I've seen that. That's definitely, if that happens, United are going to get a big wedge. Remember that I think we've got it's a 40 to 50% sell-on clause for Alvaro Fernandez. So if he goes to Real Madrid 50 million, you can do the maths. Look, it might be an advantage that we've not got European football next season. It's kind of hard to see it that way. Let's be totally honest. I know people are going to come at me and say, I think Chelsea under Conte won the league when they didn't have any European football. And they had 3 at the back. And people are like, oh, parallel. It's not a good thing that United don't have European football. But as far as a reset season goes, as far as actually doing a rebuild, you're not going to get a better opportunity than this at all as a club. This is it. If it doesn't happen this summer, I don't know when you're going to do it. Because United always end up getting stretched and pulled between the pressures of trying to do a rebuild and the pressures of trying to perform in 3 games a week every week. And you kind of get pulled in between both. We'll have the domestic cups. We'll have the league. But next season isn't really about... It's not about winning anything. It's about actually properly resetting this football club and doing something and creating something that's sustainable that you can build on. Yeah, I completely agree. The spotlight will firmly be on Ruben Amorim and making sure that every single week we are a better team than we were before. You know, saw how we played against Aston Villa? That right there was kind of a really good way to end the season, if you want to call it that. Because that right there was how I expect to see United playing a lot more next season. Really aggressive, high three centre-backs. Your wing-backs operating as wingers. United winning the ball high up the pitch with a very organised press, because when you have your three centre-backs playing on the halfway line, the pitch is so much smaller. So your teammates are all close to each other. You're closing the gaps up. Playing that aggressive is how I want United to play all next season. And it was kind of good to see that towards the end of this season. Just got to give Casemiro a youth potion. I don't think that's going to happen, but fair play that you're mentioning him right at this time when I was saying congratulations to both Casemiro. This is Ancelotti's first squad that he's called up for Brazil. And you can see there's a couple of United names down there. There's actually 3 United names. Casemiro, Antony, and Cunha. But Casemiro and Antony have both been recalled for Brazil. So congratulations to both of those. And there was a big interview yesterday. Well, it wasn't yesterday, actually. It was a couple of days before. Antony speaking about his time at United and just how much the pressure got to him. I'll be totally honest. I don't really think it was even the pressure with Antony. It was the case that was going on against him, both in Brazil and in Manchester, I think. I don't actually know what the conclusion of that was. I think there was one case that was dropped against him, and there was others that was still open. Are they still open? I don't actually know. But that was kind of all part and parcel of it. But I suppose, look, congratulations to both Antony and Casemiro for being recalled. Cunha might not be a United player yet, but I'm going to call him a United player because he's going to join United. Good for Casemiro, though. And look, Antony being that much better, let's be honest, is good for us. I still find it funny that there's any United fan that gets annoyed at watching Antony thrive at Real Betis. I don't really think there are many. I think there's only a couple of them. It's like the idea that United have made a mistake and letting him go. No. The McTominay one, I think there's probably more justified frustration of watching that. But I don't think that United fans would have been happy watching McTominay playing in the position where he's thrived at Napoli. I don't think there would have... People are like, don't play him there, play Bruno there. Don't play McTominay there, play someone else there. I don't think United fans would have given McTominay the time to thrive in that role. I'll be totally honest. And the only way he was going to do it was by leaving, and he left. Right, last minute or two. Fire in your questions, anything you want to ask, and I'll answer them as much as I possibly can. But the main headlines from today is ESPN are reporting that United have not only agreed, well, it's a 30 mil release clause. You haven't got to agree on that. Just tell them you're going to pay it. But also the fact that United have agreed personal terms with his agent. That's a big one. I think we'll find out Liam Delap this week. And bear this in mind. If he does choose United, he's turned his back on Champions League football at Chelsea and Champions League football at Newcastle. If I was to predict where he's going to sign, I think it's between United or Chelsea. And remember, I've just forgotten what I was going to remember because I keep seeing too many people mentioning Greenwood in the comments. Why is that name not blocked? Hey, look, I don't know why the name's not blocked, but after today, it's not going down there. He is a scumbag. And if you support him, you are a scumbag. There you go, mate. Don't ask me to sit the fence or anything. Just get out of the chat. Jesus, man. I don't care how many goals that whopper scores. Anyway. Are there any realistic academy players ready to step up? Says Ant. I wouldn't say there's any that sort of jump to mind straight away, but I think you might be able to see a little bit more during this post-season tour. Right. I'm going to wrap that up because I'm going to start getting annoyed about Greenwood. Thank you all for tuning in. Jonathan is saying you don't talk about a central midfielder, but we desperately need one. No, we're going to be doing that, right? We're going to be doing that. Clearly, we're doing that slightly later in the window. We're focusing on number 10s and a striker first. We can't talk about everything at once, right? Big up to all of you. Thank you all for tuning in. And if you are new in town, make sure you do subscribe. Please do drop a like on the video. And I'll see you tomorrow. And I'll see you at lunchtime today for the Mbeumo video and at 7 p.m. for the Keep Sell.